can see which pans got used the most.
We saved a bunch of money because a friend of ours had some leftover pegboard.
We cut the pegboard to the right size using a table saw. He taught me how to use a table saw, which is cool.
We used 1x2 boards, which he used a handsaw to cut to the right length as a mount in between the pegboard and the wall. Pretty much the most expensive part was buying the pegs. We bought way too many, but there is another pegboard in the workshop, so I think the total cost of this was really only like $12. It was 2 separate boards, so instead of making a invisible seam, we made a purposeful gap there just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. I'm not a huge fan of white in the kitchen because white gets dirty really easily, but there's a lot of white trim in our house, so that works fine.
We used a stud finder to find the studs in the walls.
We borrowed the stud finder from a friend as well, so that was nice. We don't have to, we didn't have to pay money for that.
Mount the 1x2 boards on those studs so that we have some really strong supports for the pots. Kind of tested it out. We would be pretty confident climbing the 1x2s since they're driven into the studs. So we're really confident in the support that they're providing.
We did have a little bit of a hard time finding the studs in the wall. This house is from 1910. Who knows what's, behind that sheetrock.
Yeah, so we had used the stud finder and thought we'd zeroed in on it, but for some reason we missed the stud. Not entirely sure, can't see back there, so we just moved over deeper into what we had measured the stud as and managed to hit it. It was really easy to get everything lined up and level.
I was hoping the lids would also be able to fit on here. I think there's space for some lids, but just how our lids are shaped, they just kind of kept falling off. So we're gonna have to figure out what else to do with them. I think this is, a beautiful addition to the community area.
So we're making this so we can have more space in the kitchen. The kitchen area that we have is not the most spacious, and these are a lot of pots and pans. They're really useful, they're high quality, and we just don't really have a good spot to store them and make them easily accessible. So having this space makes them kind of decorative because, again, they're high quality pots and pans. They look nice, maybe once we clean this gunk off this one.
I'm really excited because often before we would just put pots and pans, stack them in a cabinet, and now I don't have to lift this big beast of a stock pot that's really heavy with other pots in it, and I can just take it off and put it back on. So I'm really excited for the ease of that. Community-wise, it's really nice because if anyone, needs to cook here, reheat something up, they don't have to go digging through cabinets, they can just pick one.
Figured out how to hang the lids.